Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Derry Bennett. Heat, how's it going? Firefly. Michael Hassner, how's it going? Been watching a sitcom called Ghost. It's pretty fun. I have not heard of it. I need to watch it. More binging than watching. That's how it's done. If you guys join the Discord, you'll see some pictures of the eclipse. If you didn't see them, feel free to join the Discord. How are you doing? I'm tired. I just got off work. Tired and hungry. Alright, folks. Just to get the quick disclosures out of the way. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget, hit the follow button. For those of you on the YouTube, like the stream, subscribe, do the awesome stuff. It really does help us out. Spread the word. We're here Monday to Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store at with the exclamation mark merch chat command. All right, folks, let's get started because our time is a little bit limited today. Let's do it. Pay this man. He shows up for you. Show up for him. Welcome, Carpe. I think we should probably start here.
Well, it appears as if the $100 million that AIPAC is spending in Democratic primaries to defeat progressive members of Congress is paying off, because polls currently indicate that the squad is about to be cut in half if these polls hold true. When it comes to Cori Bush, she is facing off against Wesley Bell in Missouri's 1st congressional district, and according to a February poll conducted by Remington Research Group, Bush is trailing Bell by 22 points. Bell actually abandoned his Senate campaign against Republican Josh Hawley in favor of challenging Bush instead, and immediately...
Yeah, that's cool. So imagine like abandoning your race, your senatorial race, against a literal fascist to go beat up on the progressive. Nice, cool, very nice.
boasted about pulling in $600,000 in campaign donations, surpassing Bush in fundraising almost immediately. And most recently, he touted endorsements that he's received from the Democratic Majority for Israel PAC, who's as eager to oust Bush as AIPAC is. He also was endorsed by AIPAC as well, of course. Now, when it comes to Jamal Bowman, who's currently facing off against George Latimer in New York's 16th congressional district, a poll conducted by Mark Mellman of DMFI found that Bowman is trailing Latimer by 17 points. AIPAC not only recruited Latimer to run against Bowman, but they've also contributed
Sorry guys, I pressed a couple of different buttons at the same time, so I'm just gonna wait for about a minute and a half. Give me 1 second, folks. Might as well use this opportunity. Okay, I think the ads should be over now by now. So let me just rewind. Sorry, guys. The ads are over. Okay, excellent. We'll just take it. Okay, we'll just run it back. Sorry about that. My congressperson abstained on voting Bowman out for the alarm bell thing. I'm working to make sure she loses for that. Nice.
Bush in fundraising almost immediately. And most recently, he touted endorsements that he's received from the Democratic Majority for Israel PAC, who's as eager to out
Kamikaze on welcome.
Bush as AIPAC is. He also was endorsed by AIPAC as well, of course. Now, when it comes to Jamal Bowman, who's currently facing off against George Latimer in New York's 16th congressional district, a poll conducted by Mark Mellman of DMFI found that Bowman is trailing Latimer by 17 points. AIPAC not only recruited Latimer to run against Bowman, but they've also contributed
Man, that's just like way too much to overcome at that point. Like 22 points, 17-point lead. That's That's not that's not great. Recovered from all the eclipse watching. Well, I hope y'all that especially those that were able to did it safely because man, whew. I got a couple of pictures. Um, I posted a couple of the pictures that I was able to get on Discord, courtesy of somewhere from most of them were from Mrs. Truth, and I did like one or two.
$600,000 to his campaign and endorsed him. As for Ilhan Omar, who's facing off against Don Samuels in Minnesota's 5th congressional district, things aren't as bleak, but a Victoria Research poll indicates that they are neck and neck. The Tennessee Star writes, when likely Democratic primary voters were initially asked about their preferences between Omar and Samuels, 49% said Omar, 30% said Samuels, and 21% said undecided. However, the same poll found that the margin shifted to tie between the two candidates, 41 to 41%, after those same voters heard Samuel's message of being a progressive and pragmatic alternative.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Ilhan Omar is safer than the other two squad members, probably. Not that this is like good. I'm just saying that so far she looks like the safest one. Didn't take any pictures though. It's okay.
Alternative to Representative Omar without the divisive comments and history of taking unpopular votes. Now, keep in mind that Ilhan Omar only defeated Samuels in 2022 by less than 2,500 votes, and this was after United Democracy Project, which is one of AIPAC's super PACs, spent $350,000 boosting Samuels last time. So if they spend more this time, odds are they could actually put him over the edge. Now, when it comes to Summer Lee, AIPAC seemingly isn't her biggest adversary this time, at least for now. But in the same way that AIPAC is funded by Republican donors, so too is the PAC against Summer Lee this time. She's facing off against Bhavani Patel in Pennsylvania's 12th congressional district, and while I haven't seen polling, there's still cause for concern. First and foremost, the poll conducted in October by Imbold Research found that Summer Lee had a net negative approval rating of -5 in a survey, including
Yikes.
57% of respondents that were Democratic or leaned Democrat. Now, this is especially concerning for the fact that she only won her primary by less than 1,000 votes last time, but it was still impressive nonetheless considering the amount of money that was spent against her by groups like AIPAC and DMFI. But this time, as Jewish Insider reports, they're actually not getting involved in this race, even though they recruited Patel to run against her. Now, the reason why they're not getting involved is because they really don't have to this time. They report, quote, AIPAC Super PAC spent more than $2 million on anti-Lee ads in her 2022 primary against Irwin, that was her opponent last time, and Democratic Majority for Israel PAC added another nearly $500,000. So far, neither group has spent money on the race or even endorsed Patel. The only outside group spending big on Patel's behalf is Moderate PAC, a super PAC funded by Republican investor Jeffrey Yass,
Nice.
which has so far pledged $570,000 in the race. Now, we'll come back to Moderate PAC in a moment, but Jeff Yass is a figure that would even be controversial in Israel because this is the Republican who is a Netanyahu ally that literally helped to fund his judicial coup attempt, which is deeply, deeply unpopular among the Israeli public. As for Moderate PAC, Akila Lacey of The Intercept reports that it launched in January of 2023 to target progressives in Democratic primaries with Republican money. Specifically, money from Jeffrey Yass, who could be Trump's Treasury Secretary if he wins in 2024. In fact,
Wow.
he's likely to be Trump's Treasury Secretary if Trump wins. Yet,
Nice meme. You can't make this up.
Moderate PAC is using Republican money to run ads like this against Summer Lee called Democracy at Risk.
Our rights are under attack, our democracy at risk. And in this moment, Representative Summer Lee is opposing President Biden. She
Opposing specifically what? Come on. Specifically what? So disgusting.
and the squad gave him the cold shoulder at the State of the Union.
Why? Why, pray tell? Also, Heat, thank you so much for the 10 biddies. I appreciate that. I see that now. Generalities work better for propaganda. Yeah, this is a freaking hit job if I've ever seen. Like, they don't stand with President Biden. They even gave him the cold shoulder. Why though? There's a very specific reason as to why that is happening. Because, I mean, like, imagine how ludicrous it would sound if they actually went, the full way of completing that thought process, right? They turned their cold shoulder. They gave President Biden the cold shoulder for funding genocide, for funding ethnic cleansing. Wait a minute. That doesn't hit the same, does it, right?
Refusing to stand in support of his re-election. She has repeatedly called the president racist, and she even wants to dismantle the Democratic Party.
Phew. Man. Contactless Snake, welcome. Biden's a white supremacist, always has been.
We need a representative who will work with President Biden, and that's Bhavani Patel. Moderate PAC is responsible for...
So do you see how duplicitous these ads are?
Yeah, like, that's wild. That's wild. That's wild. How dare this person not stand with President Biden sending more bombs and more funding? How dare he? How dare she? I'm sorry. How dare the members of the squad give President Biden the cold shoulder for the audacity to be angry about tens of thousands of civilian deaths, tens of thousands that we know of. Especially, hey, Firefly, especially now with the heel turning starting to happen, the ad is even more unhinged, right?
The PAC being bankrolled by a Republican who will likely be part of Trump's administration is attacking a progressive Democrat under the pretense of protecting civil rights and democracy. Isn't that ironic? Now, as for Patel, she is parroting these smears against Lee that the moderate PAC is using.
This lighter will give you fire no matter what Mother Nature throws at you. This new incredible electric dual arc torch is the ultimate survival tool. You've never seen anything like this. This lighter is 20 times more powerful than regular lighters.
I'm gonna call BS on that. Looks like Pepe's holding a sign with my name on it.
She's using the same exact talking points from that ad. For example, she attacked Summer Lee on Twitter because her staff supported what she's calling an anti-Biden effort in Pennsylvania to vote uncommitted in the primary. And she adds,
why though? Like, this so-called anti-Biden vote didn't just come out of nowhere. Quit being a coward and say the reason why this is happening. Imagine lighting a joint with that thing. You're liable, like, assuming that even works as advertised. You're liable to freaking just light the whole thing on fire. Right? They hate him because they hate him. Exactly. Yeah, that must be it, right? That must be it.
This comes after Rep. Lee called to, quote, dismantle the Democratic Party. In the Trump era, Democrats must unite behind our president, not play these ridiculous games. So Patel is ripping her talking points straight from that moderate PAC ad, and she fashioned her own attack ad to be pretty similar. Let's watch.
The Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed, and President Biden rebuilt it right away. It's just one reason I was 100% for the Biden.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Not play these ridiculous games. So Patel is ripping her talking points straight from that moderate PAC ad, and she fashioned her own attack ad to be pretty similar. Let's watch.
The Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed.
One second.
collapsed and President Biden rebuilt it right away. It's just one reason I was 100% for the Biden infrastructure bill. But Summer Lee was not. I'm Bhavani Patel. I approve this message because it's just one reason I was 100% for the Biden infrastructure bill. But Summer Lee was not. I'm Bhavani Patel.
Did Summer Lee vote against the infrastructure bill?
I approve this message because I'm about strengthening our party and
Or was Summer Lee against the whole ethnic cleansing thing?
rebuilding our region. But Summer Lee wants to dismantle the Democratic Party, undermine President Joe Biden, and even wants to abolish the police. It's not debatable.
No,
it's
dude.
documented. I'm Bhavani Patel, and the
Not abolish the police.
Trump era, Democrats have to stick together.
Democrats have to stick together, which is why I'm proud to have the support of Republican mega donor Jeffrey Yass, who's likely going to be Trump's Treasury Secretary if he wins. So goddamn.
Yeah. That ad hits a little different. That ad hits a little different when you actually take a look. When you actually take a look at the facts. This is just an anti-progressive purge, 100%. Like this is a complete complete leg sweep, a complete leg sweep. Like, mind you, listen, like this squad isn't even like, you know, like. The squad is a squad, and even they have, like, you know, their own thing, but like the idea that you know, a couple of squad members dared to stand up and just like do the right thing has created this leg sweep. Apparently now all of them are being targeted that are up for election. Zionism is lashing out like a cornered animal, same with white supremacy domestically. That's true.
Phony. So, of course, she's playing into Moderate PAC's idea that Summer Lee is insufficiently loyal to Biden, and she didn't even support his infrastructure bill. I mean, that's just self-sabotage, right? The problem is that she wasn't even in Congress when that bill was voted on. So what the fuck are you talking about? Sure, she criticized it, but it doesn't matter because she couldn't vote.
Right. I wait for the ads to start using woke to describe the squad. Yeah, I'm sure like that's a thing. I'm sure that's a thing.
Ford because she wasn't a member of Congress at that time. But I mean, these people are willing to say whatever they think voters want to hear in order to defeat Summer Lee. Truth be damned, they don't care. They will lie through their teeth, all to win. Now, I do want to give you some hope temporarily before I take it away again, because of the polls analyzed, only one of them appears to be reliable. According to 538's poll ratings, Millman Group's DMF5 pollster that found Bowman is trailing his opponent by 17 points is actually one of the least reliable pollsters with a 1.2 star rating out of 33 polls analyzed, meaning we really should take what they're saying with a grain of salt. As for Victoria Research, which found that Omar was neck and neck with Don Samuels, that one doesn't fare much better. They only have a 1.5 star rating based on 2 polls that 538 analyzed. However, when it comes to Remington Research Group, who found that Bush is trailing Bell by 22 points, it might be a Republican pollster, but they are actually reliable with a 2.6 star rating. Now, another caveat is that it's never wise to draw too many conclusions from a single poll, because it's more smart to look at aggregate polling data and see what the average is in order to get a better sense as to where.
Right. Yeah. Like seeing one poll that swings so wild in one direction can be put aside for a moment as an outlier until there's a trend where it moves in a certain direction, because it's quite possible that we're dealing with outliers
where the election is heading. The problem is that there's usually not a lot of polling conducted for House primary races, so we're kind of forced to rely on this little data that we have, which includes junk polls released by DMFI and Victoria Research. Now, I think that they could be releasing these junk polls deliberately. Melman's DMFI poll, for example, was probably released to make Bowman's constituents feel hopeless and suppress turnout, because if they think that he has no chance of winning, perhaps they'll stay home. Now, furthermore, if they create this narrative that Latimer is going to win and he has all this momentum, they're hoping to create a sort of bandwagon effect so that way voters opt for Latimer instead of Bowman, so that way they can be part of the winning coalition, because believe it or not, that is something that works on voters. Now, this...
True. It's a very powerful tool, despair. Yeah, and like, again, you know, there are reasons to show up at the there are reasons to show up at the ballot box, whether it's your mail-in ballots or you drop them off or you show up at the polling station the day of. There are very legitimate reasons. If these races apply to you, I would urge you to make sure that, you know, you have everything ready, that you have a plan to go. There's definitely several down ballot issues, amendments, ballot initiatives, Congress people that may apply to you, local elections that may apply to you, that are incredibly important.
This is all conjecture on my part. I don't know what their motive is behind releasing these junk polls, but you shouldn't let these polls demoralize you. But at the same time, you can't not take them seriously, even if they might not necessarily be reliable, because this is the only information that we currently have. But like it or not, regardless if the polls are reliable or not reliable, the fact still stands that these progressives are facing serious threats. And after grassroots activists worked their asses off to get them all elected, it would be so terrible to see them get replaced by a bunch of genocide supporting empty suits. We cannot let that happen. But one thing that I will say that gives me hope is the fact that in the face of defeat, in the face of this massive threat, these progressives are showing why it's so important that they remain in Congress. It's because they're not backing down. So, for example, look at Jamal Bowman and what he says, because he took shots directly at AIPAC, when you would think, you know, somebody without a spine would just shut up and not criticize AIPAC because they're already spending a lot, so you don't want them to spend more. Jamal Bowman is not taking this lying down. Listen to what he said.
So, we're doubling up and doubling up and doubling up. And so AIPAC is scared to death of us doubling up some more. So now they're coming at us with everything they have. $100 million, they put it on the table. $100 million. CEO of LinkedIn, CEO of OnlyFans, right? OnlyFans? Putting in money to get us out of Congress. Why? Simply because we're fighting for the humanity and justice for all people? Simply because we do not support war crimes? We don't support an occupation? And we don't support black and brown babies in our own districts being killed? While being ignored by this political system that has been taken over by big money and politics. That's why. But we know throughout American history, throughout human history, everyone who fights for freedom, justice, and equality gets attacked and gets targeted and gets bullied. Everyone who does that. So we, Alex, have to wear this as a badge of honor. That's right. But we all need to wear it as a badge of honor because we are the resistance. Yeah! In Star Wars, we Luke Skywalker in there. We the Jedis fighting back against this oppressive system.
That's not... I understand what he's saying, but anyways, AIPAC is a foreign agent trying to influence elections. Democrats are crickets about that. True.
He must be protected. Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, and Summer Lee, they all must be protected and defended. And if you live in one of their districts, sign up to volunteer if you can. If you don't live in their district, chip in a couple of bucks. I mean, they're going up against political behemoths, and every single penny helps. Now, the last thing that I'll say is this. If the worst case scenario comes to fruition and these progressives, some or one of them, happen to lose their primaries to these AIPAC shills, they cannot concede. I'm going to repeat that. It's controversial, but I'm going to say it again because it's really important. They cannot and should not concede. What they should instead do is immediately pivot to independent campaigns and continue to run against the Republican and the Democrat in the general election. Because if their Democratic opponents are going to play dirty, they should too. Now, a lot of states have sore loser laws that prohibit candidates from running in the general after losing a primary. But guess what? New York is not one of them. And it's not like there isn't a precedent for this. In fact, socialist India Walton beat Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown in a Democratic primary in 2021, but he never conceded. Instead, he launched a sore loser write-in campaign and ultimately defeated her in the general election.
Nice.
Now, I think that this move from Brown was embarrassing, despicable, and pathetic. He lost fair and square, but refused to concede. Having said that, though, it worked. And in the event Jamal Bowman, for example, were to lose, it would not be a fair and square loss. These progressives are competing against Democrats.
Oh, he was the lib, not the socialist. Oh, okay, got it. So he got big mad that the socialist won the primary and ran against him. Not the other way around, correct? The liberals' position on Biden, he must be protected. That's pretty petty, no matter what side you're on. Yeah, he did the sore loser campaign to beat the socialists. Gotcha. Okay.
With millions of dollars in GOP donor money, while they're just raising money exclusively through small grassroots donors. That is not an even playing field. They're not just at a disadvantage.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I agree. If the squad members that if they end up losing, I think that they should launch their own independent campaign.
That is a rigged political system where elites can effectively tip the scales in whatever direction they want. That's not democracy, that's oligarchy. So it cannot, I repeat, cannot be tolerated. So with that being said, don't concede. You run as an independent and see this election through to the end. That's what I would do if I were Jamal Bowman. Now, New York is the only state without sore loser laws, as far as I know. So what should the other progressives do? Say Cori Bush, for example. What should she do if she loses? Well, she has a lot of roots to the community.
I have a question. Like, why is that even a thing? Like, why are even so if you lose a primary, then you're just not allowed to run? You're just not allowed to run as an independent? That makes no dang sense. That makes zero sense. Anything to stop genocide and endless war. Yep.
Right? So she should recruit a different progressive to run a write-in campaign, specifically with the goal of winning. But if they can't win and they end up spoiling it for the AIPAC shill, too bad. Then you just work on getting that Republican out later, because these are deep blue districts, right? So even if they try to run as a spoiler, odds are the Republican still isn't going to win. So try your best to still win, even if you lose, even if it's with somebody else, because that seat deserves actual representation, not an empty suit who was bought off by Republican donors. Now,
when they go low, we go right down with them.
These Democrats,
true,
who are taking all of this Republican money, they need to learn that voters are not going to tolerate that their electoral success hinges on foreign meddling and Republican donor money. That cannot be a new norm, right? You can't allow these Democrats to win by preemptively selling their souls to Republican donors, because at that point...
Well, you're going to want to sit down for this one, Figueroa. But, that's not new.
What is the difference between Republicans and Democrats? The type of Democrat matters. You can't just lower your standards and accept anyone with a D in front of their name. If these are genocide-supporting shills for GOP donors, you can't let them in. So try to run somebody else, and if you spoil it, you spoil it. Odds are you're not going to do that, but still, you can't just give up after they try to destroy your career with all of this GOP donor money. That's fucked up, and you cannot tolerate it. Now, thankfully, there's still a little bit of time to turn things around, so this is all just worst case scenario. But I don't want this video to depress you. I'm not trying to be overly negative, just real with you. Don't let this video depress you. Let it enrage you, and then channel that anger that you're feeling in a constructive way and help save these progressives, because it's not over till it's over, and we've got to make sure that we protect the gains that we've made. Losing them would be awful. So what we've got to do is try to have their backs in the best way that we can. So donate, volunteer, don't let these shills win.
Yeah, fundamentally, I think the message I agree with. If any of these races affect you in any way, shape, or form, if you're in New York, if you're in any of these districts, in Jamal Bowman's district, Sarah Lee's district, Cori Bush's district, any of these folks, then pay attention. Figure out. Oh man, I think we need to shake up the current system. I'm Summerlee, not Sarah Lee. Jesus. Summerlee. Okay, don't pay attention to me. Summerlee. I think we need to shake up the current system. Nobody is a spoiler. There are just more options. Yeah, like I don't understand why there's even such laws. That if you lose a primary, then what? You can't run again. That is wild. Yeah, Sarah Lee and Mike Figueroa.
You're within spitting distance of a life-changing victory right here. That's why Mercedes is doing what companies always do, pulling out every trick in the book to instill fear, uncertainty.
My president. Okay.
And doubt or sow division among the workers to scare people away from standing up for a better life.
My company's official public position is that this is all up to the workers. They're allowed to make their own choice. Then every day inside the plant, I see the anti-union campaign.
The union cannot guarantee you anything. I believe you shouldn't have to pay union dues and generate millions of dollars per year for an organization where you have no...
In this company, we're family. In this company, we're family. Why would you need a pesky union? Huh? Yeah, red flag. Yeah, when they call the company a family, run. We treat our workers like family.
Transparency where that money is used.
We've had captive...
That's not true. That's not true. We know exactly why union dues are a thing. How do you think strike funds get money? You have to develop a decent amount of money to be able to have enough for a strike fund to be able to support a strike, which is what all the union dues, or at least it is one of the essential things that union dues go to.
Audience meetings where our CEO said the UAW can't help us.
And then he was telling like the union wouldn't help, the union's not good for us because right now we're a family and
red flag. Oh, there it is. Whew. Oh, Jesus. There it is. A minute and 14 seconds in. A minute and 14 seconds in. Yeah, John Fane just likes diamonds. Let me rewind that for a second. Yeah, like clockwork.
Now we're a family.
We're a family.
That would all change.
Oh, man.
But this is definitely not how I treat my family.
They had their time to speak up. They had their time to change and do right by us. And now it's gone. We're looking forward to UAW.
Nice.
Representing us.
They're gonna fight because this is about power. And right now they have it and they don't want to share it.
As a worker at a non-union auto plant, trying to form a union at my workplace, I think it's absolutely terrible that I don't have the right to make that decision independently of my management's influence.
They have pretty much shown a video, if I'm not mistaken, every single week about the union.
They can make us sit and watch those. People want to get up and leave. I've asked my supervisor, do I have to watch this? And he says, yes, you have to watch it.
You may have heard promises of what the UAW would do. It's time you hear the other side.
Yeah, it's time you hear the other side. You know, our side. Yeah, okay.
The company's just trying to make it look like, you know, having a union in the workplace is just totally negative.
Collective bargaining is an uncertain process that could result in you getting more, less, or the same as what you have now.
What? Is this even legal? Oh, yeah. Compulsory anti-union propaganda? Absolutely. Especially if your state has very, looser laws, they might be able to get away with more, but from what I understand, compulsory, anti-union, meetings or, I forget what they're called, like mandatory, whatever they're called, whatever videos are called. I think it depends on your state, right? It's not supposed to be, but big companies like Walmart make new hires watch this shit. It's isn't it depending on the state, or is it just completely illegal? Yeah, orientation videos.
I thought they were supposed to be neutral, but this really don't seem neutral.
Companies are never neutral. Their pockets depend on it. Their pockets depend on it. They will never, ever, ever. Their interests are diametrically opposed. Like you are completely on opposite ends. Worker, capitalist. They are never going to be neutral. That's right. Capitalism is never neutral. It depends on the state. Okay, gotcha. It depends on the state. Okay, that makes sense. It's well known that they do this, and yet we do nothing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like these companies, especially the incredibly large corporations like Amazon and Walmart, they violate labor laws like every second. Okay? I'm exaggerating. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. But they violate labor laws all the time. I mean, we can see like just how large like wage theft is, to kind of get a glimpse. They skirt labor laws all the time. The only orientation I had was for safety and daily protocols, as it should be.
And it's just so misleading, if not an outright lie.
They're having the group leaders talk in meetings and kind of tell stories about the union and
the horrors of unionization. No, please, no. We're a family. Fu Manchu, welcome. So companies in multi-states can legally hold captive audience anti-union meetings for workers However, workers are legally allowed to discuss unions and partake in union-forming activity without retaliation from the company. However, this means nothing when the company has unlimited cash and you can't afford to sue. Also, you can be fired for any non-protected class reason or for no reason at all in 48 out of 50. Right, the at-will at-will employment. I actually read that in my contract, where it says that they can literally just fire you without, basically without any reason. But also, it says that you can also terminate that contract for any reason. So, like, at that point, like, don't feel bad if you're don't feel bad for just piecing out of a job, okay? They will fire you at any point for any reason. Yeah, they ask you for 2 weeks. Nope. Not in that contract, it says. Not in that contract. If they can fire me for whatever they want, for any reason that's like, you know, obviously the like basically like one or two things that they can't fire you for, then you can peace out. Yeah. At will employment and right to work legislation allows them to do whatever they want. It's so busted. Yep. Boss can't fire you for not liking your mustache. Exactly. Everyone interested in labor rights and the struggle against capitalist exploitation should read Marx Capital Volume 1, if only for the window it gives to see the labor conditions were and what the labor movement had achieved at that time. It's a glimpse into what capitalists will try to do if not stopped. Only if you want to be rehired or get a reference, otherwise peace out. Yep, true. And we all know, like, that's not, like, if you're literally gonna like bounce from a workplace, yeah, okay.
What it did to different family members.
So this is just me speaking to y'all, not as your boss, but as your friend, okay?
Yeah.
My current group leader, she...
True, they already got child labor back, that's true. Or at least, they're trying to expand on that.
Talked to us about her experience with a union. She said things as in along the line of, we get a union, she can't come help us like she normally does. She won't be able to give us our bathroom breaks, basically saying that, you know...
The unions control bathroom breaks? Well, this is news to me. This is news to me. We're gonna end up with suicide nets on sweatshop buildings, too.
Union would stop all of that.
For the people that want the union, I'm the enemy. I'm telling you right now, I'm not your enemy.
To me...
Yeah, you are. What? If you're trying to prevent workers from collectively unionizing, collectively having the ability to bargain collectively, then yeah, you kind of are. It's like the little meme with the leopard and the little fawn, the little baby deer, saying like, "Why would you need a union? In this company, we're family."
Is all in an attempt to sway numbers or to intimidate people.
Today, I want to share my opinion with you, and it's clear. I don't believe the UAW can have us to be better.
Dude. Yeah, you know, really sold me. The CEO of a massively wealthy corporation is telling me that they don't feel like a union is worth it. Yeah. I'll trust them. I'll trust them.
CEO spoke and was telling us his negative feelings about the union.
Follow up on that. You know it's bad when the CEO is flying down to freaking make a speech to try to convince people the workers here to not unionize. Really selling that one, huh? If you didn't need a union, your company wouldn't be spending so much money and time and energy and yeah, that's right. Spending so much time, energy, and money trying to stop you from forming one. Right. And all of that is more than worth it for the company than to have them, than to allow unionizations. You're expected to respect their opinion, though, because look how successful they are. The meritocracy says they should be listened to. Also, the meritocracy is fake. Yep.
I kind of felt like, you know, how dare a person leading this company making potentially millions of dollars a year talk to us workers like he knows what's best for us.
I think it was really
ridiculous
of him.
Nice. Exactly. What is the CEO who makes, you know, an umpteenth amount more than you have in your interest? You can buy relevance in this world. True.
To stand up there and say he cared when he really didn't. I was on the front row. This man was reading a teleprompter. You know, I feel like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the team members.
He doesn't. I can assure you, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your other fellow coworkers. He does not care about any of that. As long as the dollar signs, as long as the ones and zeros in the computer continue to make his personal wealth higher, he doesn't really care. He doesn't even probably remember any of these people's names. He doesn't care.
They care about their pockets.
There you go.
I wish the CEO understood that even though maybe we don't have 4-year degrees, we may not be engineers, or we may not have years of management experience, that the workers actually build the cars, and we know
the workers actually build the cars. The workers actually build the product. The workers actually build the wealth. Yes.
How valuable we are to the company and what we can.
They don't care. Okay? I can assure you that the CEO is well aware, which is why they're making such an effort to stop the unionization movement. They're very aware. They definitely have class consciousness.
Tribute.
And I want y'all to know, y'all my people. And I got you. And if you don't think that's the truth, try me sometime. Let the company mistreat you, and then call on me and see what I do. And I won't never let you down, regardless of what the future holds.
I just hope to win a better future for the people who come after, and really is a better future for Alabama, because I feel like we've been put on the low ball for too long.
Right now we're being pushed against the wall, and if we don't do something, it's just going to get 10 times worse.
For those co-workers who have family, do it for your family. That's why I'm doing it. My kids are the single most important thing to me, and I'm looking to brighten their future.
Are you ready to fight? Yes! I can't hear you? Yes! Hey, who are we? UAW! Can't hear you? UAW! One more time? UAW!
Thank you so much.
Workers of, in this case, the country, or in this case, Mercedes plant. Nice. I hope they do complete this unionization process, and I'm glad that Shawn Fain is the president of the UAW. Conscious Canuck, welcome. If Sean reigns for POTUS, I'd vote for him. Yeah, 100%. Although he's currently doing the Lord's work right now. But But in principle, yes. Yes, I would like a president who is as staunchly pro-worker. So far, the only objectionable thing he has done was endorse Biden, which is insanely compared to the other politicians. Yeah, I suppose so. But you know, right now, Sean Fain is doing the Lord's work. So I think you know, he should continue. He should continue, especially if he's helping more plants, more auto plants to unionize and expand the UAW. I'm all for it. So can anybody point out can anybody point out the little weird framing here? Yes, this is an actual article that came out yesterday, by the way. This is not an Onion piece, by the way. Yeah, food is an actual luxury. Yeah, that's right. Young people's trendy new splurge, food. Oh man, this is becoming like a parody onto itself. Like, and I love like I love the image behind like the headline, which is a whole bunch of freaking food, and then like have the actual title like, oh yeah, dude, this is such a luxury that young people are splurging on this. Yeah, like only in this like dystopia would this be like an actual like thing, huh? It's such a vibe. Thank you for providing this this gem, Firefly, this beautiful gem. Imagine having time for meal prep. What a privilege. Like the imagery behind like this headline and the young person, and then like just the ton of food that is just there, and then like the concept of like putting that juxtaposing that as like splurging out. Jesus Christ. Man. Cool. Nice. What can I afford to eat this week? What can I afford to splurge on this week? Splurge, like the opulence of fresh food. Exactly. It's almost like you can hear capitalists in the background saying, hey, Palestine supporters, see what we're doing here? You're next. Yeah. See how great we have it? Splurging once meant spending money on buzzy restaurants, expensive vacations, and designer clothing. These days, what's considered splurge-worthy falls into a more humble category. Oh, man. Like, again, does this not look like something that would be out of The Onion? Does this not sound like something written straight out of The Onion? Groceries are shaping up to be a top spending priority for younger generations. A report from Ghouls Incorporated, and also known as the McKinsey & Company, found. The firm asked over 4,000 people from baby boomers to Gen Z about the categories they intend to splurge on this year. Groceries ranked high for millennials and Gen Zers, outpacing restaurants, bars, travel, beauty, personal care, apparels, and fitness. Millennials are also becoming parents, which means they spend more on themselves, their partners, and children. food. Dad anonymously, I'm from Madison and I thought this was an Onion article. Yeah, literally, this literally reads like a friggin' Onion article. But it's actually serious. Gen Z, meanwhile, said they often choose high-quality snacks and beverages, which make for expensive grocery bills. Ah, dude, the audacity of trying to eat healthier. Man, I tell you, these young people, unfreaking believable, splurging out on trying to afford healthier options, unfreaking believable. Yeah, maybe groceries are a little too luxurious, right? We have to splurge on them. One 23-year-old Gen Zer told Business Insider by text that he spends about $130 on groceries for a week and a half. Fancy sodas and drinks and random snacks at Trader Joe's account for the bulk of the bill. He also says he spends about $35 on protein bars. The success of the canned water Liquid Death, an example of young people's willingness to spend on flashy food and beverages like water. Oh, God. Not the fact that this is even a thing, but no, it's like, how dare young people, how dare young people, yeah, they just buy bread and avocados. Yeah, not water. How dare young people spend money on water. The brand shot up to a valuation of 1.4 billion, which already is like I'm reading like a freaking dystopic like novel is what I'm reading, where like a water company is worth 1.4 billion because it sells water. Thanks to a recent round of funding, Forbes reported Peter Pham, the investor in Liquid Death, previously told Business Insider part of the brand's success comes from its appeal to younger generations. The healthy food and beverage space has historically been a stale category filled with boring brands. This creates a lightning in a bottle moment for disruptive brands who knows how to tap into culture and talk to Gen Z and digital natives. In the Lorax, they were literally selling fresh air. All this is literally approaching that level. All generations are feeling the pinch of inflation at grocery stores and for foods and services in general. The typical American household would need to spend $440 more a month to purchase the same goods and services a year ago, and that's not a problem. Not an issue. No. Groceries are the hottest news. Oh my God. Like, this literally freaking reads like an Onion article. There's a new headline out today. Rents are unaffordable. Young people just don't want to work. True. Oh my God. Wait a minute. That's an actual article? Yes? Oh my God. Oh my God. Being totally objective about my experience is that I go without new clothes, cars, but I'll treat myself to especially food item that I may not have had before. Maybe not objective, but whatever. Oh, how dare you? You want to splurge on a food item that you've never tried? Oh man, you're going all out. Sent you the Twitter link in DM. Gotcha. No way. We should welcome rising house prices as much needed incentive for the work-shy generation. True, you know. The issue isn't like the absolute greed and the inelastic nature of housing and food, all right? The inelastic nature of housing and food, because it turns out that you need these things. These aren't like these aren't optional. You need a roof over your head and you need food. These things are not optional. Therefore, the demand is inelastic. Like this is not up for choice. You need to have some sort of food and shelter, right? Like these are just basic stuff: food, housing, water. You know, these things are non-negotiable. So, yeah. When I heard about the corporations trading in water futures 13 years ago, I knew this was coming. I predicted it would take about 15, and it wasn't too far off. No doubt. Yeah, we're not work shy. One of the most exploited generations. One of the most productive generations. One of the most productive generations. The issue apparently is being work shy. Rents are unaffordable. Young people aren't unaffordable. Young people just don't want to work. Yeah, cool. Just 12% of young people are unemployed. Why can't the other 88% afford a house? Crypto. Yeah, cool. Nice website Elon's got here. But this is absurd. This is absurd. Working less won't help young people get on the housing ladder. Too many seem to believe that they're so special. Jesus, we're hitting the condescension right off the bat. That they can rely on the magnanimity of the state and their employers to come to the rescue. My brother in Christ, there is no point, okay? There is no point in engaging in this faux dance. If you aren't even able, if your employer isn't even able to pay for cost of living, like, what is the point of doing this illusion here that we're doing here? Wait till you see the bio on the dude who's Tom Harris. Oh my God, the magnanimity of the employer. Yeah, to come to the rescue. Okay, all right. Who is this clown? Tom Harris is a former Labor MP who survived the heights and depths of the Blair Brown era. After serving as a Minister of the Department of Transport, he led Scottish Brexit campaign. Oh boy. And founded his own lobbying company, Third Avenue Public Affairs. He now delivers his independent, no-nonsense insight every weekday in The Telegraph. His latest book, 10 Years in the Death of the Labour Party, is available from Bite Back. Cool. Yeah, I think this is pretty much. I think this is pretty much where we can stop here, at the type of person we're dealing with. I've heard a prediction: once AI becomes practical and employment becomes 60%, we will either have the purge or we'll have national UPI while the economy restructures itself. Whew, man, that's That's that is a wild coin flip to do, huh? Almost like we're in a class war or something. Nobody's working as a favor. Pay a living wage, right? Or this whole song and dance doesn't make any sense, right? This whole idea of like selling my labor, right, to be exploited. If it can't even provide for the cost of living, for food, housing, everything, then there's no point. Love how the UK is trying to be the worst of all America. Yeah. Anyways, I thought this would be interesting to share because, like, you know, if I slapped a friggin' onion logo on this, it could literally be just transcribed. In fact, like, and in fact, it would actually be hilarious if the Onion actually made like a, not a parody of this, but like copied this article in their own way. Hey Bond, how's it going? That title is so sad. Yeah, like if I put this in a Onion logo, I mean, this is indistinguishable. And like, again, my favorite part about this whole thing is like the juxtaposition of the headline with like the ton of freaking food and the young person there. I splurge on nuts. Yeah, apparently that's a luxury, you know. These young people splurging on things like food. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Alright, let's shift gears really quickly.
Lawmakers are arriving back in Washington, D.C. today.
Oh, that's right. The holiday is over. So are we gonna get that motion to vacate 2.0?
Today, after their 2-week recess for the Easter holiday, they will once again be in session tomorrow, but everybody's getting back today and figuring out what the hell they're gonna do about Marjorie.
Yeah, okay. Man, I really hope she goes through with this, okay? I really, really hope she goes through with this because this would be hilarious.
Taylor Greene's motion to vacate the speakership. As we all know, right before the House of Representatives went on their 2-week vacation, like at the end of the day on that last Friday, Marjorie Taylor Greene filed her motion to vacate because she was pissed off that Speaker Johnson did not shut down the government, and he did pass a budget bill.
Welcome, Fishbone. The GOP can govern. Yep.
So the government...
That's literally like the only silver lining in this whole thing because like the Democrats sure as heck are all but useless. The silver lining is that these fascists are tripping over each other, and thank goodness for that.
Government keeps running, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is furious that happened. So she files the motion to vacate. She spent the last 2 weeks going on conservative media outlets talking about how Speaker Johnson's a different person. She suggested in an interview to Tucker Carlson last week that he has somehow been blackmailed into passing the budget. But Marjorie Taylor Greene has bigger problems to worry about when she gets back to DC. For example, she has no friends. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal that ran over this weekend, Marjorie Taylor Greene is quickly finding out that sometimes you gotta have friends if you want to do the things you want to do in Congress. Here is what the reporter wrote. Greene has alienated many of her erstwhile comrades on the right and got kicked out of the House Freedom Caucus. She's on an island under fire from Republican members on all sides.
So I have a question. If this motion to vacate happens, it doesn't matter, right? Like, they have to vote. And if they have to vote, you know, presumably, this is going to set off another freaking circus.
New York Representative Mike Lawler, a moderate whose district President Biden won in 2020, has called her move against Johnson idiotic, while Virginia Representative Bob Good, the current Freedom Caucus chairman, accused her of grandstanding. And she does not even have enough support to actually oust Mike Johnson from the speakership. She thought she did when she did this. She was like, oh boy, here comes everybody. We're going to get him out of there and replace him with a true MAGA fanatic that's not going to pass budgets. We're going to shut the government down, protect Donald Trump. And then everybody, including the people she thought were her friends, were like, yeah, you're an idiot. We don't like you. We don't like your plans. You're trying to kill the Republican Party in an election year by both creating chaos by ousting the speaker and trying to push for a government shutdown. Both things where if one of them happened would hurt Republicans in this election, let alone both of them.
The Dems will keep MAGA Mike to pass Ukrainian aid. You think so? Man, I guess never underestimate, never underestimate the Democratic Party's ability to just, the saying, what's the saying? Snatch victory out of defeat, out of the jaws of defeat, or snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. There you go. Yeah, never underestimate the Democratic Party's ability to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Wolfland, welcome. Did she just go to MAGA for the MAGAs? Yeah, essentially, MAGA Mike wasn't enough. It wasn't enough MAGA, and she's threatening to torpedo everything over this. Hopefully she does. Hopefully she follows through with that. We have a uniparty. Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Yeah, that's probably a much simpler version than me trying to remember that. What is it? It's not a euphemism, is it? It's an analogy or saying. Because I always get it mixed up because, I just say it the right way. Snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory. But it's snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat. Wait. No. You get the point.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene...
Yeah, idiom. I think that's it. I think that's the correct word.
...has no friends to go along with her stupid little plans. And I love the fact that this reporter for the Wall Street Journal pointed out that Marjorie Taylor Greene is on an island. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene has always acted like, I don't need anybody. I can do this on my own. I'm a one-woman army here. But it turns out that's not how things work in the House. Like, you can't just have one person vote for something and then say, okay, it passes. Sorry that the other 434 didn't vote for it, but because the one person wants it, sure, we'll do it. That's not how Congress works at all. Not even close. You have to have a majority, which means you have to stop alienating people. And for Marjorie Taylor Greene to stop alienating people, that means you have to shut the F up and stop being such a crazy, horrible person.
No. This is working. She should continue. Also, it doesn't matter because it only takes one person to file the motion to vacate, right? So therefore, they have to go through this process, right? Or can the other, those pesky majorities, can the other Republicans kill the motion to vacate? That's actually a genuine follow-up question that I don't know. Can a member of Congress stop a motion to vacate? This is not very helpful. Resolution declares the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives vacant, informally referred to as a motion to vacate, is considered privilege. Once introduced by a floor by the member, the resolution must be put to a floor within 2 legislative days. In 2019, at the beginning of the 116th, the rules were altered to prevent a motion from qualifying as matters of privilege unless offered on behalf of a party, conference, or caucus. The 2019 rule change remained in place until 2023, where the 118th Congress reversed it. A member can decide whether to introduce the motion to vacate on the floor or through the regular channels. The motion is only privileged in the first case. What does privileged mean? A privileged motion is a motion that is granted precedence over... Oh, okay, so it just goes immediately. Got it. Democrats never pass legislation until there's enough big mechanism to siphon off the majority of the funding for the legislation into corporate coffers. True. She can cause it to happen and then it has to be voted on, which if it's voted... So, okay, so she can file it to make it privileged, right? The motion to vacate has privilege, which means it has priority, right? And at that point, they have to vote. And if they vote no, that means the motion to vacate fails, right? And that's the end of the story. So technically she can do it over and over again. Right, she can keep filing the motion to vacate the speaker, but that motion has to be voted on and they can just torpedo that motion, right? So what the Democratic Party needs to do is to vote all unanimously yes, and maybe a handful of people of the because they can literally only afford to lose like a couple votes, and if 2 or 3 of her compatriots decide to vote yes, and the Democratic Party votes yes, then the motion to vacate passes, and now we do this whole rigmarole, right? Which the Dems normally do vote yes. Okay, yeah. So the opportunity, the correct response here is to let her file this and then vote unanimously as a yes block. Got it.
Now Marjorie Taylor Greene is incapable of that. Remember, we had the reports last year, starting at the beginning of the year. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. She's a different person. She got to do that interview with 60 Minutes, where she talked about, yeah, I'm not really into all that craziness anymore. I don't buy into the Q stuff. And then she immediately went back to being a radical lunatic, which is what she is today. So she may be the loudest member of Congress. She may be the most vocal. She may be the most recognizable at this point, but none of that does you any good when you've pissed off every single person in that body to the point where none of them will support your idiotic attempts to cause chaos. Ring of Fire founder and host of America's Lawyer, Mike Papantonio, has a...
It just needs like two people. It just needs two people. It just needs two people or a couple people for that operation to work. You know, your Chip Roys. I think there's like one more person that might be in play that would actually vote yes to vacate the speaker. Oh my goodness. It's all about those connections. Yep. Somebody give the woman a scythe. Hey, this is real cool. Maybe the Biden campaign should be really like paying attention to this kind of stuff. You would think that they would know this type of stuff, but cool. Biden commits the deadline for November's ballot in Ohio. The state election official says President Biden can be left off the ballot in Ohio this fall unless the state's Republican-dominated legislature creates an exception to the ballot deadline or the Democratic Party moves up its convention, according to the office that oversees the state elections. Ohio's deadline to certify presidential candidates for the general election is August 7th, 2 weeks before the DNC convention, at which Biden is expected to be nominated to run against Trump. Ohio law requires that presidential candidates be certified 90 days before the general election, which is on November 5th this year, said a letter written last week by Paul DeSantis, the chief legal counsel for the Republican Secretary of State, Frank LaRose. Please contact me as soon as possible with any information. I can be assured that this office of timely compliance with the Ohio law. The Biden campaign said Monday that it does not expect to snag to keep the president off the ballot. We're monitoring the situation in Ohio, and we're confident that Joe Biden will be on the ballot in all 50 states. A similar situation came up before the 2020 presidential election. In that case, both the Republican and Democratic conventions were scheduled outside the deadline window, so Ohio lawmakers approved changing the cutoff to 6 days, but only for that election. The letter sent to the Ohio Democratic Party chair, Liz Walters, said that the legislature would need to be acted by May 9th to create an exception to the 90-day deadline, or the Democrats would need to move up their convention, which would seem unlikely. Messages seeking for comment were left with Walters and the state party on Monday. Trump won Ohio in 2016 on his way to the White House and won it again in 2020 when he lost to Biden, becoming the first losing presidential candidate Ohio ever supported since it sided with Richard Nixon over John F. Kennedy. Womp, womp, womp. Now, granted, there are a couple of things to say. Number one, like, man, that seems a bit precarious that the opposition party, makes unilateral decisions like this. Two, it would be highly irresponsible to not have known this. So there's that. How many electoral votes does Ohio have? That's a good question. We can just take a look. How many electoral votes does Ohio have? Ohio has 17 votes. Joe Biden's going to lose Ohio anyways because of the train crash. Ohio's got 17. That's a pretty decent chunk. Didn't they miss deadlines in other states during the primary? Yeah, that's the primary though. I think this one's for the general, right? To show up in November. Because it's one thing, to miss the primary deadline, whatever. You can run the write-in campaign that that they did, but that is not the same as the general, I believe. Perhaps they didn't do that for a reason. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe because, like Michael Hassler said, Joe Biden's probably going to lose Ohio anyways. All right, really quickly, folks. Trump sues the New York judge overseeing the hush money case in efforts to delay the trial. Delay. The documents were placed under seal, though several... Former President Trump sued the New York judge overseeing his hush money case on Monday, today, over the gag order he imposed on the former president, an 11th-hour bid to delay the trial, which is scheduled to begin next week. Judge Juan Merchan's gag order bars Trump from attacking witnesses, prosecutors, court staff, and the judge's family, but does not stop him from hurling insults at the Manhattan DA or the judge himself. The documents were placed under seal, though several outlets have reported that they pertain to the gag order. The Hill requested a comment from the Trump lawyer and his campaign regarding the lawsuit, which essentially functions as an appeal of the gag order. Merchant cited Trump's uncontested record of attacks on those involved in his legal matters in his original order curbing the former president's speech. He originally refrained from gagging Trump, instead choosing to admonish him, but agreed to do so after Bragg's office requested it last month. Weeks later, the judge expanded this order to include attacks against his family, Bragg's family, following a series of posts that Trump made about the judge's daughter, who works at a progressive political consulting firm. Merchant's daughter, Lauren, is an executive at the digital agency Authentic, which boasts clients including prominent Democrats. Freudian slip. Prominent Democrats like President Biden, Vice President Harris, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Progressive political consulting firm. Okay. Lauren Merchant is also the subject of the former president's efforts to recuse the judge from the case, an effort he has mounted twice. The most recent bid came on Friday when Trump asked the judge to recuse because his daughter had a direct financial interest, in the former president's case, given the firm's work for his 2024 presidential election opponent. Okay. The long shot lawsuit against Merchant comes just a week before Trump is scheduled to head to trial in New York for his criminal case on April 15th. The former president faces 34 charges linked to the hush money payments, yada, yada, yada. A New York appeals judge could preliminarily rule on Trump's lawsuit against Merchant as soon as Monday before the matter goes to a full five judge panel to consider the request. Trump has previously employed the tactic in New York's civil fraud case, during which a different Manhattan judge imposed a similar gag order. The bid was appealed to New York's highest court and was denied, which probably will be the same here. Trump has sought to delay his Manhattan criminal trial, and other 3 criminal cases until after the 2024 election, in which he is the GOP's presumptive nominee, which would put all of them on ice. Yeah. Which I think, man, dude is literally trying everything. He's trying everything to make sure that this is delayed, and then throw that Hail Mary to win the election so that he escapes accountability. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Biden's new student loan forgiveness plan could erase up to $20,000 in interest from millions of borrowers. Nice. President Biden unveiled his new plan to forgive student debt on Monday, less than a year after the Supreme Court blocked his initial attempt. Why, though? Too many Americans, especially young people, are saddled with unsustainable debt in exchange for college. Why, though? Biden wants this aid package to survive any legal challenges. As a result, the president has made the program narrower. Cool. By targeting a specific group of borrowers for debt forgiveness, including those facing financial hardship. Dude, everyone is facing financial hardship, my dude. Also, like, imagine like the gift that we're given, like, you know, those who qualify, is off the interest. Off the interest. Okay? Not off the balance. Off the interest. Biden wants his aid package to survive any legal challenges. As a result, the president has made the program narrower, targeting a specific group of borrowers for debt forgiveness, including those facing financial hardship. But one of the provisions under the new plan could still reach up to 25 million Americans. It's Biden's intent to cancel runaway interest. Consumer advocates have long criticized the fact that interest rates on federal loans may exceed 8%, which can make it tough for borrowers who fall behind or on certain payment plans to reduce their balances. More than 25 million federal student borrowers owe money that they owe more than they originally borrowed, according to the Biden administration. It estimates that if the new plan is enacted as proposed, borrowers will get up to $20,000 of unpaid interest in their federal student loan student debt forgiven regardless of their income. Certain low and middle income borrowers may benefit even more. Single people who earn $120,000 or less, and married borrowers making $240,000 or under could have the entire amount of interest that has accrued on their debt since they entered the repayments canceled under Biden's plan. Borrowers would need to be enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan to qualify, but shouldn't have to apply for the relief. Nice! It is crazy. It shouldn't be like this. Student debt interest capitalization has been keeping families from accessing the versions of the American dream, said Jalen Herbin, director of the Federal Campaign for Center of Responsible Lending, ? Erasing that debt will lessen the burden of student loan debt on millions of borrowers and allow them to pay off their loans in a timely manner. In addition to the cancellation of interest, Biden's new plan is also expected to forgive the debt of certain group borrowers, including those who are already eligible for debt cancellation under an existing program, but haven't yet applied, have been in repayment for 20 years or longer under undergraduate or 25 years undergraduate loans, attended schools of questionable value, are experiencing financial hardship. It's not entirely clear how financial hardship will be defined, but could include those who have been burdened by medical debt or high childcare expenses, said the Biden administration. Biden originally attempted to cancel people's student debt through executive action, but now turned to a rulemaking process. The next step in that procedure is for the Biden administration to issue a proposed rule on its plan, which will be followed by a public comment period. The president hopes to begin forgiving student debt before the November election because, that's not the problem, dude. Then again, if he does this and it all pans out, this is not like, you know, I'm not going to say no to this. The issue is that we haven't solved the root cause of the problem to begin with, as to why we're here, in the first place, and you hoping that you are going to win young people, which again, hey, listen, you know, you are supposed to be doing these kind of things. But if you think that that is the ticket, man, if you think that that is the ticket, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. That being said, more, we need more of this. There shouldn't be a scenario where we are looking at eliminating interest in the tens of thousands. Yeah, attending schools of questionable value. Nice is a nice dig at Trump. True. Trump University. If he does, and SCOTUS doesn't cock block it again, I think I'll start exciting about it. Well, it can't, because this isn't like an executive action, or it isn't like a law. This is more within like the bureaucracy, and I don't know if the SCOTUS has any bearing on that. I think that's why they're choosing to do this. It isn't law per se. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that this has less likely, this has less of a chance of appearing before a Supreme Court than the other course of action. Yeah, this is not the ticket, man. That being said, you should do this. But that's not why young people are mad. Okay, that's not what young people are primarily mad about right now. Directly, I agree until someone sues to block it. Yeah, I mean, it could be, because you know it's now it's a different avenue. A different set of parameters. Now, again, could it happen that it might get challenged? Maybe. But I think that this is a separate procedure. All right, folks. I have been informed that dinner is ready, and it's just past 7 o'clock. We did it, folks. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the follows. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you want to continue to support this channel, do the things, folks. If you're on the YouTube, keep liking the stream. Subscribe. Do all that awesome stuff if you want to support the channel. There is a merch store. I appreciate it. Thank you, Firefly. I appreciate it. Awesome. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, Kamikaze. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for modding the chat. Thank you for mixing it up as well. Wolf Glenn, Conscious Canuck, Carpet Packs, a quick shout out. Please, if you haven't done so, please consider taking 5 seconds to go over and show him some love. I appreciate it. Thank you, Firefly. Dan Anonymously, thank you for mixing it up in the chat. I appreciate it. Fishbone on the YouTube, I appreciate that. Thank you for mixing it up. A-Bond, thank you. I appreciate it. I think I got everybody. Wolf Glenn, Derry Bennett, Fu Manchu. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fu Man. I appreciate it for stopping by. Kamikaze, thank you. Making sure I got everybody. I think so. Derry Bennett, thank you. I was putting shrimp in the air fryer. There you go. Well, perfect timing then. Folks, thank you all for stopping by. As always, we'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Oh, join the Discord. Okay, join the Discord. See ya. Do it. Put another shrimp on the Electro Barbie. Look at that. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.